Hi, everyone. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about some trends I'm seeing in HR in business. And first of all, let me say that I'm a big fan of using data, of having data help us to, especially in the performance management of employees and matching the right people to the right jobs. Absolutely a fan of data. Absolutely a fan of companies like the Predictive Index, which is very data-based and very, very strongly scientifically validated methods of acquiring that data. The trend I'm seeing right now in business is that there's a heavy reliability on data, which can be a good thing. When it comes to employees, we're developing systems to be very data-driven about employee performance, about uh, tracking the training and the way we deliver training to employees, about employee behaviors, employee trends, and then we're using this data to try to manage those employees better. And all of this is good. There's nothing wrong with any of this. But I do believe that we are missing an important element. I do believe that we're missing something that is essential to getting this right, to getting how we treat employees, how we treat people, employees of the company, the associates, the members of the organization that we're trying to lead. And my concern is that we will somehow emphasize or focus so strongly on the data that we forget that we're dealing with human beings. And while the data is important and the data can be very, very useful, I think what's missing is a fundamental and, in fact, a sophisticated understanding of adult development, how adults grow, how adults develop, how adults develop and grow in their mental complexity over time, or at least they can. Not everyone does. In fact, most of the research says that at any given time, at least, and I think it's bigger than this, but the research says at least 60% of all people at all ages remain at the lowest level of mental complexity or adult development. And so there's a direct correlation with the level of mental complexity a person has and their ability to lead effectively and their ability to handle more complex topics at the same time, in their ability to be more of a independent thinker, more of the type of person who can consider what the group wants and what the group would like to see happen, but is not dictated to by the group dynamic, and rather looked at what the mission is, what the goals, what the vision of the organization is, and at the same time be able to consider all these different ideas and all these different thoughts and all these different concepts that may seem to contradict each other and conflict with each other, and be able to take the best elements out of each one and formulate a plan that is the best possible plan for that initiative, for that organization. One thing that I think is absolutely critical as we grow in mental complexity is that people who reach the highest level of adult development, the highest level of mental complexity, they're the ones who have the highest levels of emotional intelligence, or what we call emotional intelligence. It's it's not so much that it is a behavior that has to be trained into people, because that really doesn't work that well. but it's part of that level of mental complexity. Will they realize that in order to get the best ideas coming to me and coming to our organization and coming to our initiative, I have to be cognizant. I have to be aware of how my words and how my attitudes and everything I do affects others. And I have to be aware, therefore, of how I'm feeling and how what I'm feeling about something impacts how I behave about it, which has a direct impact on those around me. And so they become very approachable because of this high level of mental complexity and their openness to all kinds of ideas. I think if we forget the idea of adult development, if we don't neglect it, if we don't start integrating it into our organizations, I think in spite of best intentions, this data-driven approach, if it's only a data-driven approach, is actually going to make things far worse for our employees. And that is not the intention of it. That is not why people are doing it. And that is not, well, we're investing in all this data. We're trying to make things better for the organization and for the employees all the way around. It should be a win-win situation, should be one where everybody wins. So that's my thoughts on the whole trend of data-driven employee analysis. Let me know what you think and have an amazing day.